has serious connection to my background. But very quickly, I also have a video. I think I should start with that video. A 3-minute video. Stanford University did that video on me some years ago. It's a 3-minute video put together by Stanford University. I would want to use that video to set the tone for this conversation. Again, my name is Afolabi Abiodun. Let me do proper introduction of myself. I'm a serial entrepreneur. In Nigeria, they also call me Nigerian timekeeper. Biometrics time attendance is popular in Nigeria because of my effort with THAMS. Over 3,000 organizations use my devices across different offices. I'm sure quite a number of people are on this platform today that THAMS is the reason why your salary gets deducted once a while, right? That is a solution I started. I am also the founder of a company called SB Telecoms, a value-added service telecoms company. We support corporate organization with value-added services. I'm also the founder of a JV partner of ZK Teco West Africa. It's a joint venture company I founded with my Chinese partner. ZK is a global brand with operation in 79 countries, and I'm their JV partner for West Africa. And the most important part of what I do now, Spark Explorer. I'm attending churches every Sundays, in mosque on Fridays, looking for new scholars that will join the platform. So this is a bit of what I do. I forgot to mention that I'm also a researcher. I'm a student. I'm actually finalizing my thesis. Hopefully this time next year when I'm attending the House of Saviors, you refer to me as Dr. Afu. I'm a part-time journalist. I'm a part-time journalist. I also contribute to Business Day newspaper every Sunday. You can look out for my viewpoint in Business Day. As a matter of fact, my next, I'm now committing to writing Mr. President every week. So look out for what I write on a weekly basis. So to set the tone for the presentation, I want to share another screen. Can you see my screen?
We can see the slide, not the other.
Okay, I think I'll have to stop sharing first and share again.
Yes.
I use Google Meet for most of my presentations, so. Okay.
When people talk about this, it's easy to say don't have infrastructure in Africa. That's a problem. For me, this is a way of life for me.
Is it loud? Praise, can you see the video?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
It's not very loud, though.
Is that very loud?
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm not even hearing again.
How do I adjust volume on
Before you share,
Zoom?
optimize it for sound and video.
You can.
Before I share, I would optimize for sound and video where?
Yeah, so on the right of the screen where it shows your share screen, where it shows the place to share, to the right, you will see optimize for video. Click on it.
Hold on a second. You know, it really can be embarrassing if, as a tech expert yourself, you struggle with.
Come and pay money. Come and pay money. Let us teach you. Those of us who do present.
Okay. Optimize for, so on share, I only have share settings, right? Is it share settings? Admin,
So
is it share settings?
stop sharing.
I
Stop
should
sharing.
share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you stop sharing, go back to where you
Okay.
want to share. Yeah, click on the
Okay.
share button now.
Click on the share button. Okay.
Yeah. So once it takes you to that page, to the right of the screen, you will
To the
see
right of the
optimize your video.
to the right of the screen. Optimize video for sharing. Here I see it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for the education.
About problems, I say to
Is it
people,
loud
yes,
now?
it's easy to say don't have infrastructure in
Yes,
Africa,
it is.
power is a problem. But I mean, for me, this is a way of life for me. All my life, the road has always been bad. This is the world I know. I try not to complain about it. I try to solve it. My name is Afolabi Abiodun. I'm the CEO of SB Telecoms and Devices. Well, our TAM solution today is solutions that small, medium enterprise work with to manage their operations, their human resource, from recruitment to retirement, from hire to fire. It's simple to use human resource application. I became an entrepreneur because immediately after school, looking for a job was not an option for me. So I started my small business of making phone calls and retailing recharge card. Got a small space, a major road. So what I do in the evening, after the sales I made in the morning, I would go on the road and try to wave cars down and sell to them. I really didn't have any corporate background. You know, I'm coming from the streets to start my business. I got virtually everything wrong, so I learned, my lesson the hard way. In 2005, when I had incurred that debt of $100,000, I actually ran away from home, because it was actually my grandmom's property. It was used as collateral for my business then. Banking officer, they went straight to my grandmother and told her, your property will be sold, so start preparing, pack your bag and baggages, we need to evict you. So that for me has actually been one of the things that keeps me going every day. I really need to make her proud, pay up the debt which I have, and do several other things for myself and my family and my community. In high school, they said after graduation, 40% of you would get employment and 60% most likely would not. I really didn't want to be part of the problem that government would need to solve. I used my own problem to create a solution. We need to build successful businesses that would help eradicate poverty. I've taken upon myself, and we're doing that already, reorientating Africa. And in the process of solving the problem, I'm making myself comfortable and making my family comfortable. And that's the reason why President Barack Obama would want to meet a special guy like me. Isn't that amazing? So now, the boy from the street invited to the White House for Global Entrepreneurship Summit. It goes beyond myself. I get passion from seeing problems getting solved as expected, and that makes me happy. No matter how small you are, no matter where you operate from, you actually can be anything you hope to become.
Okay, let's go back to the slide. Hello. Yes, so that video was back in 2016. It was a video put together by Stanford University. Before that video, I also had 2 scholarships from the same university. The first one was Stanford Leadership, a 1-year program. The second one was Stanford Seed. It's an entrepreneurship program for entrepreneurs from West Africa. And they've expanded beyond West Africa now. They are also in East Asia, also covering South Africa and beyond, right? An amazing program that actually exposes you to different skills. When we did it, it was a full scholarship program, but I think it's still full scholarship, but you have to still pay a particular amount to be part of it as an entrepreneur. So if there's any entrepreneur on this group, you've been in business consistently for a while, it's a program I would advise that you enroll for. It would really help a great deal to help you scale your business. So my presentation today, I hope I will be able to answer the question around the formula for wealth creation. In my own case, that formula is what I refer to as grit, the can-do spirit. And I'm also going to walk you through how this consistently has helped me in my journey. Looking at my humble background, where I came from, and what I've been able to do, for myself, problems I've been able to solve with that spirit, with that energy, with the grit, that I discovered early on in life. This is me back in 2004 when I moved from, this is 2006. It was when I moved from my small kiosk. I used to have a small kiosk on Odolami Street where I retail my recharge card. I make phone calls. I finished from Lagos State Polytechnic. I was an average student. I've been an average student all my life. The most important part of my performance is I finished with 6 credits from Odogbolo Grammar School. And the most important part of my performance is my F9 in English, which I later struggled to get a P7 that got me the admission to Lagos State Polytechnic to study town and regional planning. I'm a 7 of 8 siblings, so you can understand why starting a recharge card business, was something that was automatic for me, an average student, and I'm not the type that is, wired to work in a corporate organization. That's number 1. Number 2, town and regional planning, the option that is available for me with my lower credit from Lagos State Polytechnic, again, would have been to work with a local government or work with a state government, and that's not something I have, passion for. But something I do very well, very early on in life, and thanks to my mom that was conscious of that part of me, she takes me to a small kiosk back in Ereko, where she sells clothing wares, and that is something I am very good at. There's nothing I cannot sell. People will come to the market, they will come to our stall because they know Afo would always be there, to either entertain them or convince them or give them a justification. Or most importantly, if it's something we don't have, I'll look around and I'll find it for you. So, selling has always been my strength. So, in my own case, formal education, going after education, we do it back in Nigeria was not my strength, so that also affected the outcome of my education journey as an individual, right? So the picture you see was when I moved from that my kiosk and I set up, I got my first office on Kakawa Street, and I was already looking at the future I want for myself. I want to be a CEO. I want to run my business the normal way a business should be run. A business should be run, right? And I was doing everything possible to make that happen. Fast forward, I got to the point of forming an international joint venture partnership with a global brand. ZK-Telco's office is in Atlanta, Georgia. I had an important meeting earlier this week, to also look at some things we plan to do together as part of the partnership. They operate in 79 countries, like I said, and I'm their JV partner for West Africa. From that video, there's a part of the video I showed you that talked about the debt I incurred in 2006. At the age of 26, it was a 26 million naira debt. My business was from retailing recharge cards to also become, the main distributor for one of the main distributors for Globacom in Lagos Island, right? And part of what is expected of you to run a distributorship line in telecoms back then is to get a bank guarantee, and to get a bank guarantee, I need collateral. Then, for most of us, we think money is what you need to drive a business and get the success you need. I also thought money was very important. We're doing very good turnover as at when the business was at its peak, moving from retailing recharge card to distributorship for Globacom, for Intercellular, for Starcoms. We're doing very well, right? But by the end of 2006, already I've piled a 26 million naira debt, and it was as if the whole world was coming down on me. And my grandmother's property, my mom happens to be one of 6 siblings, and we used our property as collateral. My grandmother, which I had a very good relationship with, went with me to the bank and pledged our property as the bank guarantee for our grandson's business, because everybody knew, how enterprising Afo was. But guess what? As of 2006, it was already a major issue, and the bank was going to sell my grandmom's property. The only option for Afo was, this is the end. I can't continue, and I almost gave up on myself. As a matter of fact, I ran to Ghana, and everybody was looking for Afo. And for some reason, God touched me. I mean, it was as if my grandmom was chasing me in my dream in Ghana. And I realized that this is a problem Afo you created. It's a problem you have to go back and go solve. And I went back to Lagos, and that again became, the turning point of what I did afterwards. So that problem that I was running away from, what I discovered coming back, particularly in the telecoms business, is that if you are providing a service that you can add value to, you would see activity, but you won't really see results. If you want to be successful at whatever you are doing, then you must add value you are creating, right? And it has to be a problem you are solving because you are passionate about it. It has to be a problem that truly exists. And in the process of solving that problem, you do well by doing good. And my telecoms business quickly transformed from retailing recharge card, which, in the real sense of it, for people that have done recharge card business back in the days, you know how low the margin was. The only way you can get the type of sales you needed was to keep dropping price. At some point, we got to the point that we were selling at a loss. So within the telecom space, I saw that I actually can create value. I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with a service called CUG, Closed User Group Service. Proudly I can say today I'm one of the pioneers of CUG as a service. I got Intercellular to start selling it as a solution. I got Starcoms to start selling CUG as a solution. Get people to pay a particular fee and they can make intra-organization free calls. And up till tomorrow, still Globalcom's leading value-added service provider. Quite a number of our customers using the CUG service are still using it. So that was a value I created and was solving that problem for organizations directly. Now, this is me. I forgot to mention that I've never worked for any corporate organization. The only corporate organization I've worked for is myself. One of the things I learned when I had my problem is that if you want to run any business, it's important for you to create system. Again, if you look at my background, I finished from school, I started running my business. I'm an average student in school, but very quickly I realized that education is still central to whatever aspiration or success you desire in life. And again, it became a question of what type of education is relevant for what I'm doing. In the space of telecoms, I knew I needed education in that space. The first thing I did was to enroll myself with the Commonwealth Telecoms Organization, where I applied for my advanced diploma in telecoms to really understand the telecom space, which is the business I'm doing. And from that, I moved on to apply for my master's in telecoms from Birmingham City University, understanding that space even much better. The education that I struggled with, which was totally different from the education that is meant for the future, God have for me where my greatness is. Connecting with our greatness is also something we must know how to discover early enough. After my master's, I saw things from a different point of view, understanding how business should be run. Also very important because I'm running a business. Cash flow was an issue. How do you manage human resources? How do you do all of this? The part I forgot to mention was after my 26 million debt, when I returned from Ghana, I saw an advert in a newspaper, Enterprise Development Center. They just started out in Victoria Island then, because one of the early SEM participants. I saw the advert. I have a 26 million naira debt, and I saw a program that is primarily entrepreneurship focused, and it's going to cost me 715,000 naira, which I didn't have. I remember walking straight to the center. Something I know how to do very well. If I need something from you, the max you will tell me is no. I walk straight to EDC. I remember the person I met then was Wale Anifowoshe, who is currently now the deputy director, if I'm not mistaken. I said, I need to be on this program and I need a payment arrangement. Wale told me it's not possible if I'm going to be part of the program, it has to be payment upfront. I said, with me, it is possible. The payment has to be structured for 12 months in 12 installments because this problem is important. I have a major issue that I'm dealing with, and it's important for me to be on this program. Fast forward, I started my my certificate in entrepreneurship with EDC, and that opened my eyes to how to run business. It changed everything completely for me, understanding business from different point of view, the finance side of business. How do you run a business? How do you raise capital? All of those things were things I didn't understand when I started my recharge card business. And it was easy for me to get to the level of having a JV partnership with ZK Teco. In my course of providing service for corporate organization, my value-added service, my CUG service, as a company, as an entrepreneur myself, I was dealing with the issue of poor time attendance. I'm always on the move, trying to get new customers, but I'm struggling with employees getting my staff getting to work early enough. Then I also realized that most of the time when I complain that they are not resuming early to work, quite a number of time it is recency bias, and I penalize people for wrong reasons. So I said, to strike a balance, we need to get a device that will track everybody's attendance, and salaries would be paid based on your attendance. I wanted a solution that, apart from the fact that we can verify anywhere I'm connecting from, I can see who has reported to work and who has not, real time. This was how the solution called Terms Today was created. The options that are available back then is you have people either manually signing in with an attendance register. We also have biometrics devices that you have to install. You copy with your USB to get the records. But my telecoms background, I said these devices can have GPRS on it. These records can be somewhere in the cloud. So connecting with a manufacturer that happens to be ZK Teco in China, I reached out to them. They didn't quite have that solution when I wanted it. I said I wanted a GPRS-enabled device. I need a server where I can put my records. That was how the solution Terms was started. And customizing that device for me, I created my server, added the first couple of devices, and that was how Terms as a solution started. And from one organization to another organization, and we have them in their thousands today. When ZK Teco expanded operation beyond just time attendance, access control, quite a number of other things that they wanted to do, the founder of the company was doing a tour of Africa, and they're looking for partners that they would establish relationship with to cover West Africa. And my account officer reached out to me that the chairman would like to stop by in Nigeria, and we hosted him. Normally, when you are trying to have a joint venture or raise capital, there would always be due diligence. Again, it connects to when you are committed to something, things would always happen. Hard work would always open doors for you. That was how the relationship with ZK Teco was consummated. We didn't even do any due diligence or anything. We didn't even sign any paper in the early days. The decision was made. $2 million worth of goods was shipped to Nigeria. And that's how the relationship was, consummated. If you're committed to something, you're solving a problem, you have the can-do spirit, doors will open. The Stanford Seed Scholarship, also came out of the different activities that I've been involved with. In Enterprise Development Center, the Pan-Atlantic University, the SME group, when it comes to service, I'm always putting myself forward to serve. I became the president of the Enterprise Development Center, after a while of being involved in their different activity. And I was the president of over 5,000 entrepreneurs across Nigeria for 4 years. When the opportunity of Stanford Seed came up, some organizations were reached out to. I happened to be one of them. That's how I got on the program. My product was nominated as some of the solutions for the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, which was hosted by the White House. That's how I got my invite. It wasn't as if I was working towards being part of that initiative. It was me, Afo, committed to my work, getting things done as expected. So again, it takes us back to where we started. In what I see as the recipe for success is hard work. Find a problem. When you solve, opportunities would always come knocking. Another example I would like to relate the recipe for success, which of course is hard work. All of those things that you are doing, you won't even understand when they would come together to yield some other things that you didn't even plan for. A good example is my green card. When one of my friends told me that this opportunity is available, these are the things that are required. Putting together my documentation was easy for me because these are things I've done over the years. I have patent for my terms application. I have international recognition that things that I'm internationally recognized for, which are all out of hard work and commitment to success. Credit Suisse, I was a special guest making presentation, led group of entrepreneurs, to that particular event. Putting all of that together, my green card was approved in 1 month. It wasn't even work authorization for starters that most people will get. It was just based on my verifiable activities, things that I've done over the years. Again, the recipe for that success, in my own opinion, is hard work. You find a problem, you solve it, something you love, and things will just naturally fall in place. That again still connects to the video we started with. There's greatness in everybody. The fact that you're an average student, the fact that this is because individually we have our strengths. If you give me a book to read, it probably will take me 1 week to finish a book that will take Praise 1 day to complete, right? But if I'm committed to achieving the goal, I will still achieve what Praise would achieve eventually. So for us individually, we have our strengths, and it's important for us to understand this. I mean, it reminds me when Tony Elumelu started his foundation. Their first outing was partnership with All World of Harvard University, Michael Porter. And I mean, different organizations were reached out to. They were looking for fast growth organization with unique solutions. Again, we submitted our terms application, terms solution, and we were judged to also be one of the 50 organizations based on what we've done. And we shared that stage with the minister, with the professor from Harvard. And again, in my usual way, I was recognized. And as a matter of fact, terms at that particular presentation was referenced and presented, at that gathering. So the secret, again, still connects to your love, your passion, the love you have for what you're doing. When you love the problem you want to solve, problem that you see that truly exists, do the work, like put your effort in solving that problem uniquely the way you see it. The work will testify for itself, and the results will obviously follow afterwards. So this hard work, the way I see it, in whatever we do, is a build-up. The payout obviously would arrive much later in terms of the different things that people can see as evidence of your sacrifice, evidence of what you're doing. If you look at all the different things I've talked about, it all connects to different problems I'm solving at different time and the result that comes with it. I would use my current business as another example. I moved to US. Moving to US, I found myself in a situation that was totally unplanned for. In 2022, I had my daughter with a unique health challenge, which also made it necessary for me to spend more time in US. It's a condition called biliary atresia. And with that situation confronting me, spending more time in US was so necessary because of that particular challenge. Because before then, I normally would be most of the time in Nigeria. So it was a question of, now that I'm spending more time in US, what would I be doing? Interestingly, I also realized that a problem exists, particularly with my boys. After school service, parents are paying so much in US, and I'm sure it's the same in Canada and UK. We're used to getting support for our kids, but it was just very expensive. I saw it as a problem I can solve, and that is another problem I'm solving today, and I really enjoy doing it. Again, whatever problem you are solving, you don't see it as a work. You see it as something, that has to be done. And in the process of solving that problem, you are also doing well as well, right? In doing all of these things, if you also observe, you must put a system in place that all these things will be managed with. Again, the value to wealth formula, which I started with, is there should be a problem you're solving. There should be a problem. Apart from the fact that you're solving, you see this problem and you also make it as something you are passionate about. You must have a system to run this, whatever business or venture you've created for yourself. It must run on a system. SB Telecoms has his own CEO today that runs it 24/7. I don't run it 24/7 anymore. ZK Telco has his own CEO running it. I don't run it anymore. Tams has his own CEO running it as well. The business I'm running 24/7 right now is Spark Explorer, because I also need to put a system in place to ensure that it's running by itself, right? Then when you have the system running it, of course, all the other things will follow afterwards, right? So again, like I said at the very beginning, I'm hoping that using my entrepreneurial journey to as the case study for my presentation today will help us demystify whatever misconception we have. I mean, for some of us, we are still in the process of making a decision of what we want to do. You have different ideas that you want to implement, that you are thinking about. What I normally would like to say is, if you have an idea, you have to immediately get on it. You can't afford to procrastinate. If you're in a place of work that you are confronted with different issues, how do you sharpen your skills? You have resources that are around you that you must always leverage to get the expected result. Don't waste time at it. Get it going to see the outcome you desire. So this is my story. It's now your turn. to find the problem that frustrates you most. That can be your market. You also want to build a system around it when you identify that. Again, it's very easy to say that, oh, this is what I want to do, but you must be ready to do the work as well. Hard work is the recipe, and you have to be committed to it. So my sincere hope is that my presentation today, speaks to what House of Savior expected of me. I will yield the floor now and take questions from here. Again, praise, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Afu, for sharing your story. There is a lot to glean from that story, a whole lot to glean from the story. And I have got a number of questions. I'm sure quite a number of people also have got questions for based on your presentation. And I know that the first question that will jump at anybody is, you have an idea. How do you raise finance for that idea? It's a recurring question people ask all the time. Yeah, I know I have value, right? But then I can't seem to raise finance. Nobody is willing to sponsor me, right? That's what you hear all the time, right? So how did you navigate that financing for all the things you do?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I also can use Spark Explorer as a good example of what you're referring to. Generally, when we have idea, in most cases, we think money is a problem, or this is what I want to do. I remember watching a South African, motivator. I forgot his name right now, and he was trying to use the example of you want to run a poultry business. Before you go into running a poultry business, why don't you start with selling eggs to understand the value chain? Something you can afford, because it's a value chain, it's a learning curve. Yeah. You can't jump into setting up a big poultry business if you don't start, from the basics, right? In Yoruba, we'll say, in my own case, before I became a telecoms practitioner, I was retailing a recharge card, and that really gave me a good understanding of the entire value chain. Because that idea, your demonstration of the little thing you've done, it's easy for you to convince people to now join you on what they've seen to be proven. Spark Explorer, I could have moved resources from SB Telecom, ZK Telco to run Spark Explorer. But I wanted to, because I'm in a different environment, I'm in US, right, a different market. So I said, the first thing I'm doing is validation. If you follow me, if you look at my footprint, right, I'm always emphasizing that it's a validation. I reach out to friends and family. I have this platform that I'm trying to put together. I recruited few tutors, which I can afford from my own resources. And I demonstrated it with friends and family. From friends and family, I reached out to, I looked at how can I connect with my target audience. Again, taking it step at a time. And I started from my mosque. I moved to my church, spoke to my pastor that I have a problem. I think I'm not the only one that is facing this challenge, and I have a solution for it. And I need people to believe me in this solution that I have. Again, friends, family, some people will say fools are the first set of people. You are people that believe in you, right? And when you can solve that problem, people can see an evidence of what you promise in results. Money would find you afterwards. I gave the example of ZK Telco. We were running our business as terms with ZK Telco, buying our devices the way we can afford it, the quantity we can afford. And when the opportunity presents itself, ZK Telco came knocking, right? So that idea must be properly established. There should be evidence of what you want to do. And it comes in different shapes, right? From your presentation of your idea, people would, of course, they would also connect it to your profile. They must have an evidence of your accomplishments. If what you're doing is making a pitch presentation for a seed investment, the first thing anybody would want to look at is your personality. What has this person done? Right? If I'm going to put any money on you, what have you done? I'm taking a risk on the individual before anything. So what comes first will be the idea. It would also be your track record. The money would follow.
Okay, thank you very much, Afo. My second question will be, what has been your experience with partnerships? Because you run a joint venture. Partnerships has been a lot of stress for some people, especially in this part of the world where you realize that there's a person who has the idea, then there's the person who is maybe like the partner now, and then let's say they have a sharing ratio of 50-50, and then one person is putting in his life. This is like his life. The other person is looking at it as an option, right? I see had a situation recently between two friends who are, they are pushing an idea together, and there is one person who just goes to bed, does nothing. The other person is pushing and pushing and pushing, and this other person says, okay, I don't want to push this idea anymore, but I'm still going to retain like 20% of the whatever based on what I've done. How do you navigate where two people are not are not giving the same level of energy into an idea, especially in a partnership situation?
Yes, I've had series of partnerships, right? There's a book I read around win-win. If whatever you're doing, always be conscious of see things from the other side of the table, right? You're going into any form of partnership. The first thing you want to be clear about upfront is you must have whoever you want to form a partnership with, you must have that sense of alignment. That must be first established, right? Is praise a compliment to a foe? If that is established, the second part of it would now be clarity on that terms of engagement. Most time when we are going into this partnership, we don't define all these things up front. Why do we vest an interest over time? We vest interest because we know things can change. Things can change for both of us, and there will be clarity on it that for the next couple of years, this is what you retain, as your own stake on whatever we do together, right? So time must also be vested for you to also, but generally, in most cases, these are things we don't define upfront. But the part I would like to emphasize is that in most cases, what we complain about are things that we don't, in most cases, we don't see things from the other person's point of view, right? Very important to always be conscious of the all parties' interest. My Chinese partner, when our relationship was going to be consummated, again, like I said, they did a due diligence. The due diligence they did was more of our track record, the business we've done with them over time. And before they shipped their devices to us, we already agreed in principle that we're doing this. They sent their agreement, the same agreement that they've used for different organizations. If that partnership had presented itself in my early days in business, I probably would have gotten myself in trouble the same way I had 26 million naira debt. But in this situation now, I'm more educated, I have more experience. I won't sign anything without getting experienced people involved, my lawyers, my mentors, to look at the agreement, to ensure that it was properly negotiated before signing anything, right? So whatever partnership we want to go into, we shouldn't assume that we know it all. It's not out of place to, I'm sure most of us work with mentors. We have people we respect that can look at things on our behalf before we make a final decision. But again, like I said earlier, in any negotiation, you can't be one-sided, not just from your own point of view. You have to respect the other person on the other side. What are their concerns? Take it very seriously and ensure that you have it considered in whatever decision you want to make.
Okay, thank you very much, Afo. My third question will be, how do you keep your sanity? I mean, you are someone I always love to be around because you are just joking, cracking jokes. I think when I came for, was it your wedding anniversary or something? Or your year that I came, the party you threw.
My wife's birthday.
Your wife's birthday, yeah. And you were sharing about your daughter. I'd never heard that story before. And I'm like, how do you have, and when you mentioned the amount that they had charged for your daughter, I'm like, this one is enough for anybody to run back to Nigeria and say, you know what, America, I'm not even going to pay this money. Let me run back to Nigeria. How are you able to stay resilient, keep your calm? So anybody in your position will be taking blood pressure pills. I mean, based on even the multiple businesses and the challenges that come with some of these things, then you have the family challenge. And, how do you keep yourself together in all of this?
I'm a person of faith, for starters, right? I connect with my creator, on any issues. That's number one. I believe whatever happens is happening because it has been written, right? And most importantly is, I understand that whatever happens, it's happening, because of the fact that God has allowed it to happen. So the question now would be how to get out of it. Plus, growing up on Lagos Island, maybe that also has a role to play. Growing up on Lagos Island, in Lagos Island, like whatever money you are making, you want to spend everything today completely, right? And you believe that the next day something else will happen, right? And whatever challenge you are faced with, you see it as, it's just another challenge. Let's move on and and just live life as it comes. And most importantly, attending Odogbolu Grammar School, you want to shame yourself before anybody, shame you. Whatever you want to use as, you want to talk about me, I'll tell you everything about me 100% without shame. Having F9 in English is not a big deal. I'm going to talk about it. My challenge, remember we're having a conversation. I told you that I was doing delivery in US. It's not a big deal. Yes, Nigerian CEO doing delivery for Walmart. What's the big deal? How is it your problem? I didn't come to your house to come and beg for money, right? I was struggling with financial issues. I have bills, health bills to pay for my daughter. Are you going to pay for me? Interestingly, in one of my delivery, I saw one of my, bank manager friends that was also doing Spark delivery. We met on the tarmac. Remember, I keep talking about tarmac. So we met on the tarmac and the guy was trying to hide his face. I'm like, Oga, carry your goods. We are here for the same purpose. It's not a big deal. So it's a reality of life. We'll be faced with challenge. When you have that challenge, instead of dwelling on that problem, what I'm looking at is, how can this be a solution? The name Spark actually came from Spark by Walmart. Because it was one of my delivery that the name came up. I said, oh, Spark. That could be another name for another solution that I'm trying to push.
Okay. Itoro Igwe, we can see your hands up. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was an amazing one. I just want to ask concerning the one that had to do with tutorials. In a way, I kind of run the same type of platform here, but I've been faced with a couple of challenges, and I was wondering how you were able to navigate it. So the state where I am, education is relatively free. And so finding the Nigerian communities or the communities that are willing to pay for those tutorial services come in a bit more, I don't know. So they would rather pay for a Kumon lesson or every other service providers that are not Nigerian, as opposed to using maybe say the services I provided. It's been 5 years into the project, and I was wondering if you have any tips. I know there's something about advertising and all, but I was wondering how you were able to, navigate. We've been here for 5 years, but I'm trying to find out how you were able to, navigate. Then the second challenge with that is the Nigerian counterparts. The minute they hear you live abroad, they would escalate their tutorial price exponentially. And that becomes a challenge of, again, the community I serve are used to free education. And so, as opposed to the Nigerian system where they're able to pay for any service when it comes to their children for education. So the teachers back home are charging at a very high rate, and the parents where I'm domiciled is a bit opposed to paying an amount for their child's education. How did you navigate that process? Thank you.
Okay, so Itoro, I'm going to play another 3 minutes video. Praise, I don't know how much time we have left, right? 3 minutes video, and I will use that video to respond to Itoro's question. Praise, can I play the 3 minutes video? Okay, while I'm waiting for Praise to respond.
Oh, please go ahead and play it, please.
Yes, let me just
I'm speaking on behalf of the people in the call.
Okay.
My name is Okikiola, but my mom calls me Kiki. I'm an 8th grade student at Worley Middle School in Mansfield. I'm a fun-loving, outgoing person who enjoys playing video games, especially Roblox. I also absolutely love playing football and basketball. I'm proud to play for my school's amazing team, the Worley Tigers. While I love having fun, I also dream of being successful in life. When my family moved to the US about 4 years ago, things weren't easy. I struggled in school because the education system was so different from what I was used to. Plus, I spent way too much time playing Roblox and Minecraft. My grades started slipping and I knew I needed a change. That's when my dad introduced me and my brothers to an after-school practice program. It made a huge difference. What really motivated us was the rewards my dad gave us for completing our tasks. The practice didn't even take much time, so we still had plenty of time for games. Staying consistent and earning rewards kept us going, and it worked.
So we're going to have minus q plus 8 equals 14. Okay, and then do we subtract, because the first one we added, this one we're going to subtract, I'm pretty sure. Is that what we minus 6. So,
in just 1 year of consistent practice, I became an A honor roll student, a member of the student council, and even vice president. Plus, I've been on the US President's Award list every year since then. I am so grateful to my dad, who always fulfills his promises and motivates me to do my best. Now with Spark Explorer, I'm confident and I can achieve even more. Here's how Spark Explorer helps me. 1. Daily practice with iExcel. I tackle lessons that strengthen my skills every day. 2. Tutoring support from 4,000 plus tutors. They're always ready to help me with any subject, including my AP classes. 3. SAT prep every 2 weeks. These sessions sharpen my test-taking skills. 4. Parent commitment. Parents are encouraged to fulfill their promises when kids achieve platinum, gold, silver, or bronze standards. 5. rewards for kids. Spark Explorer gives gift cards for Roblox, Minecraft, and more to kids who make it to the leaderboard each month. My dream is to attend Harvard or Stanford. To make it happen, I need an SAT score of 1,450 and over, and also a GPA of 4.0. With Spark Explorer, I'm working every day to make that dream become a reality. If you have children like me who want to excel in school, visit www.sparkexplorer.com and enroll them today. Spark Explorer will ignite their potential for excellence. Let's make dreams come true.
So I just want to throw a question out to everybody. With what I've presented, if you have children in K to 12 and you watch this video, are you going to sign up for the platform, sign up on the platform or not? Please, I want a reaction, please. Please, I want us to react.
Immediately.
Immediately you sign up, right?
Yes,
So Itoro, this is the deal. Whatever problem you're solving, whatever solution you want to provide, you must know how to communicate. You must know how to tell your story. When I did this video, by the way, I recorded this video myself. Praise will confirm to you that's my house, right? I recorded a video, and truly, it's something I've tried with my kids, and I've seen results. And I have all of those evidence, and I put all of this together in a story. One of the things I learned from EDC and Stanford is storytelling. That's number one, right? Communicating. Number two is, in my presentation, I said, whatever you are doing, you are raising capital, whatever you want to do, your friends and family is the first community you want to leverage on. Praise will tell you today, I have my best friends now are pastors, right? I'm a member of the Redeemed Christian Church of God community. I'm not a Christian, right? But I'm a member of the Redeemed Christian Church of God community. I'm also trying to become a member of Mountain of Fires. I'm also going to be a member of Celestial Church of Christ. I'm a member of all Ansaruddin and Nasfat that we have in US. Leveraging your community is also important. I reached out to my pastor. I said, I have a solution that I know would help our community. I presented to my pastor. He loved what he saw, and he yielded his podium. 5 minutes after service. My video is 3 minutes. I'll play my video and I'll speak to it for another 3 minutes. And I'll wait at the church foyer to attend to parents that are interested. And from one parent to another parent, and I was getting a lot of referral. So today I'm moving from church to church. I'll be doing a Canada tour very soon, just to get more subscribers on my platform. So Itoro, you have to know how to communicate, let people understand the service and the solution the way you want to present it. I didn't have 4,000 tutors immediately, but I got my tutors. Explain to them what we want to do. I need you to be on standby, right? Be on standby, sign a contract that you provide your service for us when we need your service, right? So the 4,000 tutors you see on the platform, it doesn't mean that I have 4,000 of them that I'm paying for. But in the true sense of it, I have a contract with them. I created a form, sent it out to them, and a lot of tutors signed up to be our partners on the platform. Itoro, I don't know if I've answered your question.
Every single question, sir. Please, may I steal your video prototype? It's
no
beautiful,
problem.
sir.
It's available on YouTube as well. I also can share the link.
I would love that, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
I think we have some questions on the chat box. Shaun, do you want to read them?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Afo, for that. And I actually wanted to break the ice by asking you, or either PF, where the Alaji that attends all the churches, you know, came from. But I think you have answered it just right now when you said.
Don't loud it, they must not know.
No, he has said it now. He has told us that he's not a Christian, but he's a member of, you know, RCCG. He wants to be a member of Mountain of Fire. That's interesting. That's networking on another level. Fantastic. Okay, so the question we have here is, how did you solve the 26 million debts on grandma's property that pushed you out of Nigeria? And let's take the other one. How do you effectively manage all the various commitments and services you are running full time? If you can take those two, then we go to the next one.
Yes, I can take both. The 26 million naira debt, remember I mentioned in my very short presentation that I ran to Ghana, and in Ghana, I was just seeing my grandmother in my dreams. You know, it was as if my grandmother, you know, was chasing me around.
Was chasing you.
Yeah. And interestingly, because I was in Communicado, right, they were trying to reach me, nobody could reach me. And my grandmother was hospitalized. When they couldn't find me, and the banks showed up at our house and they said, we're looking for your son. It was actually Intercontinental Bank. The relationship was with Gateway Bank. Intercontinental Bank bought Gateway Bank, and it became Intercontinental Bank's problem. And they went to my grandmom's house and told her that they've been looking for me. I've not been picking my calls. And, you know, I got a call. Why I ran to Ghana was because I was still trying to get an installment was due, 500 and something thousand that I needed to pay the bank, right? I was going to one of my debtors somewhere around Surulere when I got a call from one of my aunts that the bank officials are in the house. They've been trying to reach me, that I didn't pick my call. Again, if there's anything I've learned in the course of running business, never run away from your problem. Whatever challenge you have, pick all calls, no matter what the issue is. Whoever you are owing, they don't want you to die, right? Pick their calls, even if you have that difficult response that you don't want to share. You must always pick calls. So I didn't pick my call, and they went straight to my grandmom's house, you know, threatening her, and the old woman collapsed and she landed in the hospital. And my aunt told me on the phone that the bank is here, and grandma collapsed. So that was why, I mean, the first thing that came straight to my head was, what am I going to do? I was somewhere around Orile, and I picked the next available bus that was going to Ghana, to Accra, and left. Okay. But after about 8 days in Ghana, I realized that, you know, you have to just go back, and, you know, you get to a point that you realize that, what can you do? I mean, I was sleeping at different places, at some motor park. At some point, I realized that, you know, I couldn't even get a job. It was difficult for me to survive in any way in Ghana. So I decided to come back. Luckily, I got someone that was ready to give me a free ride back to Lagos, you know, after I've spent the last kobo I had on me in Ghana. And I came back to Lagos. I called my brother. He told me that they are all in the hospital with grandma. You know, getting to the hospital, my grandma, Alaja, was happy to see me. In fact, the reason why she was in the hospital wasn't because of the property. It was because our favorite grandson is missing. And the first thing what she said in Ijebu was, you know. And 3 days after she was discharged, we got home. She locked our room with the two of us inside. She gave me the beating of my life, and our barato sound. She beat me seriously and started the story of our own life, how she built the house in the first place. Interestingly, because my grandmother named me Afolabi, I'm the only one out of my siblings that is not called, my first name is not my Muslim name. All my other siblings are Camille, Koyum, Kazim. But my grandmother insisted that they should call me Afolabi because, you know, the turning point for our business started when I was conceived. My mom used to work with my grandmother, you know, back in the days. So she insisted that they call me Afolabi, right? So she told me all of that and said, this is a problem you created. You have to go and solve that problem. And truly, I can account for this 26 million. The first part of it was my bank manager. When we send money to the bank for deposit, because we're doing a lot of turnover. In most cases, the deposit doesn't go to our bank account. And in 2004, 2005, online banking wasn't, you know, operational the way it is now, that you make deposit and you see your money in real time. So the first thing we started was I got a lawyer to start a fight with the bank. You know, after all the back and forth, the bank said, whatever you've had with the manager is you and the manager. You have to solve it. So the only thing they could do was to write off the excess charges. That brought the 26 million to about 14 million. And they also restructured the loan and reduced the interest rate to 9%. And I was paying an installment of about 6 hours. They gave me another moratorium of 6 months. So I needed 6 months to figure out how to start paying 600,000 on a monthly basis. So in a space of 6 months was when different ideas came up. I developed a software with some Ukrainians back in the days called SB Turbo to accelerate internet. Intercellular was ready to buy my solution for 7 million. I refused to sell it because I wanted them to install and pay me commission. Before I realized it, I lost that opportunity. Intercellular was not operational anymore. In a space of 6 months, then I realized that I could sell value-added solution. That was how my CUG service started. I call it SUG back then. Started getting organizations that were showing interest. I know how to sell. That's my strength. I can sell anything. When I came up with my own CUG service, free phone for free calls, one of my first set of customers was actually a manager in GT Bank. She had a solution. I went to her office. She was struggling with her card. I said, I can help you fix your internet issues. I solved that problem. And, you know, somehow I also got the bank to buy some of my services then. And gradually I was paying the loan. When I paid my last installment, the bank, I told them that when the next time I'm coming back to buy your bank. But surprisingly, Access Bank bought Intercontinental before me, so I'm buying Access Bank very soon.
Interesting. It's possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything is possible. Now, the second question, how do you effectively manage all the various commitments?
Yes, so in my presentation, in my presentation, I emphasize the importance of system, right? I remember in one of our discussion on a platform that I'm on with Praise, there was an issue that came up that in Nigerians, and interestingly, the MD of MoneyPoint was also saying something similar. That I think the conversation was one CEO that was complaining about employees, right? That Nigerians, we have very bad employees. You know, employees are very and lazy and all of that.
Can we mute?
Right. And my response on that chart, which is also something I see all today, is the same problem you have with employees, you also have with CEOs, right? Whatever you see as a problem, it revolves around you as the leader, creating a culture and a system that works. In SB Telecoms, like I said, I have a CEO that has been with me from inception. And interestingly, he's also not just the CEO, he's also a co-founder, right? Because he has stake in the business now. We have a board of directors that meets every quarter as expected. You know, it's a system that is in place. ZK Teco, when it was founded, part of the terms of my partnership with my Chinese partner is that I will put together a system in place. I will run it for 3 years. After 3 years, we need to now find a CEO that will run it on our behalf. And I'm also using my personality to drive it. So SB Telecoms has its own CEO. ZK Teco has a CEO. Spark Explorer, I'm running that for now. As soon as it gets to that point, I can move on to something else. So system is, very important in whatever we're doing. We have to separate ourselves from the business.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I hope the person who wrote that got that. Now, the next question we have is, how do you execute several ideas, though within the same field, consulting, social entrepreneurship? I think it has to do with systems too, right? Kids Club without feeling overwhelmed, especially at the stage when I have little finance and don't have the human resources. So maybe you are not able to put systems in place as much as you want. You know, maybe that's a twist.
First number one system, I forgot to mention this, that we need, you must also have a good support system, right? If you're a man, your wife is your number one support system. If you're a woman, your husband is your number one support system. You know, it's important for your spouse to understand.
Should be.
Should understand. Yes, should understand the journey you're about to embark on. In my own case, my support system is my wife. You know, she understands that her phone is always having something new to talk about. I have 1,001 crazy ideas that I'm always thinking about, right? You know, so if you don't have that support system that understand the peculiarity of who you are, right? You know, that also could it could be a challenge for us in embarking on any of this journey.
Okay, thank you. We have Toyo Oyediji. Can you unmute and ask your question if it's a question?
Good evening. It's 22:38 hours here in Guangzhou, China, and it's a privilege to be able to ask this question. Oh yeah, ni hao. Ni hao. Lovely, thank you. Well done for trying. Actually, I'm only here for a short while, back in England tomorrow. But yeah, it's great exposure here in China. Question for you. It's a very primary question. And again, forgive me if you've touched on this before. My network was in and out. You know, when you talked about your academic pursuits at the beginning and how you were not successful academically as a young person, how did you make that jump from having those woeful results that you mentioned and having that huge success in academics? For example, like being able to break through into having a master's in the university in England, and the other certifications you've done. How were you able to close that gap from that place to MSc? Did you take some additional courses? You know, you mentioned the results earlier on. So yeah, thank you. Just touch on that. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, it also is connected to my foundation. I have my mom, my dad, that education is priority for them. You know, my number one support system. You know, it took me a while to realize that my mom is not even as educated as I thought she was growing up, right? Because I would remember that she would bring us together, go through our school activities as if she understands what was written in those books, right? But in the true sense, I later realized that she barely can read any of those assignments, okay? But it was important for me to fulfill that dream. They wanted all of us to be educated. And I have, you know, siblings that are educated, cousins that are educated. When I, you know, finished with my poor WAEC exam, poor WAEC result. And I have my cousins that we were the same age bracket, already in University of Lagos. And the only option for me, because I was truly, when it comes to memorization, I really struggle, right? And for some reason, for most of the exams we take in Nigeria, you must know how to memorize, so I struggle a lot. But somehow, I eventually managed to have my P7 in English. That gave me the admission to Lagos State Polytechnic, So it was a question of, if I really didn't get, because left to me, I would love to have studied geology, right? Because for some reason, I love to be a geologist for a long time, But if I can't do that, I also still need to excel and match up with my contemporaries, my cousins, my brothers, who happen to, pursue that corporate ladder. They'll come back from their different offices. Some of them happens to be bankers. They'll come to my small kiosk on Odunlami, where I retail my recharge card. And I said, I'm also going to build my system. So it was that personal decision that I need to make it happen. I also need to, prove to my mom that I can still do something for myself. And I was lucky to pursue education in places where I don't necessarily have to cram to excel anymore, right? The first formal education I like to say I think I had was my diploma my advanced diploma in telecoms at the Commonwealth Telecoms Organization. It was a 3-month program in Cameroon, right? After that program, practically I was actively involved. So this is how I compensate for my inability to cram. I'm practically involved, hands-on, in all the activity, because it was more of practicals, and that helped. That was my advanced diploma. Combining that with my Lagos State Polytechnic education was how I pursued my MSc in UK. Now, combining that with my experience in terms of what I've done, my term solution, my business experience when I applied for, plus I've done my leadership certificate in Stanford University. So it was, when I was putting in for my PhD, it was just like an automatic. I don't even need to make any, say too much stories around it. And the English that I had problem with, is not a problem anymore. I'm a regular contributor to newspapers, so some way, somehow. In fact, the reason why I started Spark Explorer is because I know the importance of education. And if I won't have the opportunity of being an undergrad in Stanford and Harvard, my scholars are getting that opportunity today. I can proudly say to you that this year I have over 25 scholars that are on full ride scholarship. So I know in the very near future I'll be attending many graduation of very successful scholars. So what I was unable to achieve, I will be a conduit for many scholars to achieve that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for PF. Do you still have anything to say? We don't have any more questions.
Have you answered all the questions? And is there no other
yes,
questions?
Yes.
Okay, good. We want to say thank you very much for obliging us to share with us. I think you've shared a whole lot. When I see what you do, I doff my hat for you. I'm a big fan of what you do. How you go about you're very cheerful. Afo is always dancing. It's just very painful. I'm going to miss a layer meet this year. Just keep it. Don't finish it before I come back. But thank you very much for all you do. You do it effortlessly. And thanks for inspiring all of us today. House of Saviors, can we show him a lot of love and say thank you for coming? Afo, we really, really appreciate you. You are a testament to the fact that great things can happen out of Nigeria. We appreciate.
Thank you so much. Again, let me just say this very quickly. It's an honor to be here. Praise has been my #1 supporter with my Spark Explorer initiative. Regularly, Praise is always coming on our program to also motivate and encourage the kids. So it's a support system. Again, like I said at the beginning, right? Reaching out to your community, your friends and family, people that would not, charge you for, they are supporting you because they have the obligation to do so. So leveraging that is something that we should take very seriously as a community. Finally remember, I'm a salesperson. Spark Explorer, if you are in the diaspora and you have kids, kindergarten to 12th grade, summer is going to be interesting. We are teaching our kids this summer AI. We want our kids to also start making money from AI, learning how to make videos with AI, learning how to make graphics with AI, social media, digital education. Let's make the best out of their time this summer. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you. Over to you, Seun.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Afo. It was great having you. I've learned so much. My notes, they're full. I'm sure everybody's notes are full. We are so grateful for this, for sharing, with us. Someone asked if there is a rerun. Yes, you can check it's on YouTube. Admin, please, can you put the link so that people can share? So thank you, everyone, especially our first timers. Do we have any first timers here today? Do we have any first timers? If we do, you are most welcome. At the beginning